All right, guys, working back on the 650SX. One thing when I was messing around with this last time, I noticed that those two bottom bolts were gone, so I went and got some out of my parts and got those put in. That could be a big part of it, just blowing water out. We'll see, don't really know, but got those installed. I think where you guys can kind of see that light up in on each side, I'm going to silicone that from the underside on both sides. Make sure that that's all sealed up good around that the ride plate and the grate. Looks like the pump is still good on the front side. I just want to make sure there's no room for water to come back this way as well, so everything's going through the pump. The other thing I'm doing right now, I'm trying to just mess around with the cooling lines. Not 100% sure. I think this will work. So I've got dual cooling coming from my pump. So right now I've got the one going right here into my intake. The other one is actually going into my exhaust down here. And then I've got, basically that's going to feed up through here. This line's coming out to a pisser. This line's coming out to a pisser. I think that should work. I'll find out. If not, I've looked online. There are some that show it going here and here. And then basically, if I'm trying to remember right here, you've only got this one coming out to, yeah, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head how they had them set up, but I'm going to try this first. I need to get a hose for this. I haven't quite got there yet. So get this all put together. The exhaust is in, everything's tight. So yeah, we'll see what it's going to do. Right now, what I'm working on is I didn't realize when I put this all together, you guys can see my primer. The lines are right up against the exhaust, so I need to get these pulled. I'm going to move it over to here, and I'll probably just block this off and do away with my fuel reserve. I don't use it anyway, so we'll get all this stuff out of the way here real quick, and then I'll cap the extra line off over here. But right now I've got to get this pulled out of the way. I think it's 8 mils on the back side. I've got these 2 screws, so I can pull this off, and hopefully should be able to get these out of the way, swapped over, so I don't have to worry about those fuel lines being that close to the exhaust. So and then touch up my water lines. I'll probably go ahead and hook it up to a garden hose here in just a second, see what it does, and then we'll go from there. So I'll holler back at you guys in just a second. All right, guys, so I've got this pad pulled. Anybody wanting to pull this off, you basically got 2 screws down here, here and here. You just pull this pad back, you can get to both of those, and then you've got your 2 screws up top. You have to pull this hinge off here. If you still have the the original choke, I believe it's behind it. I'm almost certain. It's been a minute, but anyway, if it isn't, you'll have to pull it off in front, but I think it's behind. Then you can pull that off, and then you can pull your choke out or your on-off reserve. So right now I'm gonna go get a drill bit that I can use to install this over here. Get this put in place on that side, and then I'll see if I can get a like one of those plastic caps like you put in like a breaker panel, knockout covers in here, silicone that in. That'll clean this up. I'll silicone these 2 holes in. They probably should have done that to begin with, but they didn't. So we'll get these put back, and then we'll put all this back together, and probably hook it up to a garden hose and see kind of what it does. And then maybe this weekend, weather providing, I can get this back on the water, test it out, see what happens. Yeah, I never know. It's this with this ski, it might work, it might not, but I really kind of wondering if that pump hasn't been my biggest issue, missing those bolts, but we'll find out. So anyway, I'll cut back in just a minute. All right, guys, so after I got this hooked up to the garden hose, I've never had this happen before, but it could have been one of the major problems with the cooling system. So I've blown air through this. I've had it hooked up to a hose before, but today I hook it up and didn't have the water on very high either. So we're talking really low pressure. And that top cooling hose right here, I don't know how well you guys can see up in there, but it's not connected. It blew off and water was coming out the back. So who knows, maybe that thing was coming off. I didn't notice it before. I'm not real sure. So yeah, that's I guess not a horrible thing. So at least maybe I found it. So again, got this tightened down now. I'm going to get the back of the ski up off the stand here. Kind of slide it back this way. Get the ride plate off, get these hoses, make sure they're tightened down. And yeah, again, everything else seemed really good. I mean, other than it was leaking there, but the pipe, all of this was super cool. Before, like I said, when I'm in the water, that head pipe, all that was getting just sizzling hot. So again, could be a number of things now that I found. So maybe I'm kind of lost, but anyway, ski sounded really good, ran really well. So I'm gonna get this hose yanked off here, replace it with this solid hose. I think I'm gonna run it with these cooling lines the way they're set up, and then we will get that hose fixed on the backside. And yeah, I'm gonna try to run it this week and see what happens. So fingers crossed everything works, but ski seems to run really well, fires right up. Well, did. Oh, my positive came off here. I gotta get a battery put in it. I was horrible this year. Did not get any of my skis batteries put on tenders. Well, all but one. I did get actually one. I think this is the battery out of this ski I did put up on a tender, and it worked, but I sold it with another ski. Seems to sound really good, running good. That's of course with no water turned onto it, but yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm gonna get this tightened up, and I will keep you guys posted as far as how the ski runs and how it does when I get it out in the water again. So we'll catch you on the next one. All right, guys, I was gonna end that video where I left off, but I went ahead and finished this up tonight. I replaced all the hoses, so everything in the hole is new. This is how I routed them. So I got my two inlets for my pump, one coming into my pipe, one coming down to the lower exhaust manifold down here, comes through it, up through the head, comes through the head into the exhaust as well, out the pisser, and then also out through the pisser on the side, since I have two pissers and two coolers. I think this setup will work. If it don't, I can always block stuff off, move things around, but I'm pretty sure routing like this, everything's gonna work fine. Should be pulling water through and pumping it out the side. The rest of it should go through the exhaust as well, so should be decent. Got everything sealed up. I wasn't able to find a block off plate that I have here, so I'll have to get a block off plate. Worst case scenario, I thought about even putting that, gluing that over the top of it like that, just to cover that hole up, but we'll see. I'd like to get one of those little plastic ones that pop inside in here, so I may have to pull this back loose, put one in here, and then maybe even put another one over the face there as well. Something to seal that up, because potentially you could get some water in through there. Down on the pump side, so I replaced all these hoses here, rerouted them as well. So this one now I've turned it around and brought it back under and to the front up there. And then the other one, I've taken it straight out. Well, you guys can see this. Let's see if I can turn. Yeah, maybe not. Anyway, right in there. Yeah, I'm not real sure why it's so really not wanting to zoom in there tonight. But anyway, you guys can get the basics there. You can kind of see. So that hose straight in. So hopefully now all these lines are good. Like I said, pumps tightened down. All this seems to be good here. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyway, thought I'd give an update kind of where I'm at right now. So we'll hopefully be able to get this ski in the water this weekend and see what happens. I do have a battery coming, so I will get the battery put in here, but I think that's the only thing I lack, is just getting a new battery put in here. So other than that, this one is ready, fingers crossed, to go again. Hopefully everything works out. I am working on the other one. I'm not real sure what I'm gonna do with the exhaust yet. I did find out that if I'd have had the stock exhaust without the bolt-on coupler, the one that's got the slip or adjustable hose type clamp here, it would have fit. I've been able to drop it down, get it below the lip on that other ski. So I may look at getting a different stock 650 pipe. I may even look at getting just this piece. because I think my head pipe would actually work, but I almost just want to go stock just from the cooling factor. I'm not a fan of that other pipe. That lower piece gets super hot. Whether I was having issues on this or not, it's a dry pipe, so it gets pretty warm down in there. So I'm not real sure which way I'm going to go with that, but again, I think everything now is ready to go on this. So I'll keep you all guys updated, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.